My niece smashed my daughter's hearing aid under her shoe and giggled. And then I watched my mother, who had never raised her voice in 70 years, do something that made the whole room go silent. My daughter Lucia was born profoundly deaf, and her cochlear processors are the bridge between her and the entire world. Speech, music, the sound of me saying her name. They cost more than my car, and they are not toys. So I dreaded our annual week at my parents' lake house, because my 11-year-old niece, Brielle, has a history with anything fragile, and my brother and his wife have never once told her no. 2 years ago, Brielle accidentally flushed my mother's hearing aid down the toilet and laughed about it for a week. When she was 8, she'd snapped the legs off a neighbor's kitten, and my sister-in-law called it rough play. She just gets excited. I watched Brielle's face during that conversation, and there was nothing behind her eyes. No guilt, no worry, nothing at all. My father is 70, and I have never in my entire life heard him so much as snap. Every fight in our family ends with him spreading his hands and saying, "We're family, let's keep the peace." So when I called ahead and said, "Dad, I'm scared Brielle's going to break Lucia's processors," he just said, "I'll watch them. Just get through the week, sweetheart." We arrived Saturday. Within the first hour, Brielle had snatched one of Lucia's processors off the table and was waving it over her head while Lucia cried, reaching for it. My sister-in-law didn't glance up from her phone. She's just curious. It's a gadget, not a baby. I found my father. He put a hand on my shoulder. "I'll have a word with her." Sunday at dinner, Brielle kept bumping Lucia's chair, knocking her hand so the spoon clattered, and each time Lucia flinched, Brielle would look at me and smirk because we both knew. My sister-in-law said, "Lucia started it. She's being sensitive." Monday, Lucia came to me sobbing because she couldn't find her processors at all. We searched for an hour before I found them hidden in a flower pot on the porch, and Brielle was inside playing games like nothing had happened. Maybe Lucia just lost them, my sister-in-law said. "She's careless." That night, I told my father we were leaving. He took both my hands. "Please, one more day. I promise I'll handle it." I should have gone. Tuesday morning, I was in the kitchen with my mother when I heard Lucia scream, not cry, scream, from the living room. I ran in. Brielle was standing over Lucia with her arms crossed, and on the hardwood floor was Lucia's processor, the delicate coil and casing crushed flat, a shoe print still visible in the broken plastic. Lucia was on her knees trying to gather the pieces. Brielle shrugged. It was in my way. My sister-in-law wandered in, sighed. "Honestly, maybe if you didn't make her so dependent on those things, it wouldn't be a disaster every time." I knelt by Lucia, who couldn't hear a single thing I was saying now, who was reading my panicked face and starting to truly come apart. She signed, frantically, "Broken, broken, can't hear, broken." She began to hyperventilate, the way she does when the silence swallows her too fast, sliding into the kind of panic attack that had landed us in the ER before. I was holding her, trying to sign safe, "I'm here," when her breathing went ragged and her eyes rolled with fear. My father walked in from the hall and stopped dead, his granddaughter on the floor, soundless and panicking, the crushed processor, Brielle standing there, hands in her pockets, watching it like a show. My father opened his mouth, and what came out was a sound I had never heard him make in my life. "Get out of my house." His voice cracked down the middle from the force of it. My sister-in-law stumbled back into the doorframe. "Dad, out!" The tendons stood out in his neck like cords, his face gone red, and Brielle ran for the door like the place was burning down. Then my father dropped to the floor beside Lucia, gathered her against his chest, and held her, humming, so she could feel the vibration in his ribs even if she couldn't hear it, until her breathing slowed and the panic let go of her. The whole time, tears were streaming down his face. He paid for the new processors before I could even reach for my wallet, over $8,000, and wouldn't hear a word about it. My brother's family hasn't been to a single gathering in 2 years. Last month, Brielle was expelled for stomping on a classmate's insulin pump.